With just under 35 days until the NFL kickoff begins, the New York Giants are in one of the toughest positions to be in the NFL. The Giants in the offseason signed quarterbacks Russell Wilson and quarterback Jameis Winston, while also drafting a quarterback Jackson Dart in the first round. I believe drafting a quarterback in the first round, it's saying that the Giants head coach Brian Daboll and GM general manager are really hoping that Jackson Dart pops off, because if not, it's not for certain that both head coach and GM will be with the team for the foreseeable future. Moving on to the offensive line for the New York Giants, they improved from 2023 to 2024 as they had a league worst in sacks allowed in 2023 with 85 total sacks. They cut that number almost in half in 2024 with only allowing 48 sacks this past season. Injuries also had a fair share playing into the Giants' O line, as starting left tackle and starting center did miss a lot of time throughout the season. One of the biggest priorities for the Giants is just to get left tackle Andrew Thomas healthy and on the field as much as they possibly can get. Moving on to the defense side of the ball, the Giants' front line is going to be one of the biggest highlights for the season, and I believe many fans are excited for it to see how the Giants' D line starts off for the beginning of the 2025 season. This defense D line features players like nose tackle Dexter Lawrence. They drafted out of the third round Darius Alexander, which I believe could be a draft steal if he turns out at least mid. I don't think the Giants are expecting much because of how much talent and production everyone else is going to be. So I don't think they're going to be too high on him. I think they'll allow him to be developed, and the following season could be a bigger year for him. They also have players like Brian Burns, Kevin Thibodeau, and also Abdul Carter, which they drafted with the third overall pick in this past April's draft. The secondary could be a big step up for the Giants as well. In the offseason, they made moves signing corner Paulson Oladipo to a 3-year deal, safety Javon Holland to a 3-year deal, linebacker Chris Ford to a 2-year deal. I believe these are steps toward the right directions for the Giants. Even though they didn't finish nowhere near first place last season, they have a first place schedule this upcoming season. The first three games for the G Men are at Washington, at Dallas, and versus Kansas City, with two of those three teams made it to their respective conference championship games. After that, it's a rough schedule. It's week 4 versus the Chargers, week 5 at New Orleans, and then week 6 versus Philadelphia. By then, the Giants could possibly, I expect them to be maybe win 2 games, maybe if they're lucky, catch a break, win 3 games. So then the question comes to mind: what do you do with quarterback if you're the Giants? Do you keep with Russ? Do you start Jameis? Does the Jackson Dart era start? As the saying goes, if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. Even though the Giants have three potential starters in their quarterback room, the metaphor still means the same for them. I don't always like a rotation of quarterbacks. If the team is thinking, okay, Russ is going to have X amount of games, and Jameis is going to have X amount of games, and Jackson Dart is going to play X amount of games, you don't allow one guy to get a true rhythm, a true flow of the game. And so when you pull one guy and you start another guy and you wonder why the second guy is struggling a bit, it's because you don't allow him to really get a flow of a game, get flow in game. Sure, there's practice and you can practice with the starters, but when you're actually in a game playing for real, when it's middle of the season and you're expecting these guys to be in flow when they haven't even started, and you're 8 games, 6 games, whatever into the season, and you wonder why, because you don't allow these guys to get a true flow rhythm of the game. Moving on to this team's ceiling, it's not too pretty anyway. I believe when the season comes to an end, they'll finish around 6, maybe 7 wins if they're lucky. My prediction for the 2025 season: wide receiver Malik Neighbors will go over 1,000 yards receiving. I believe Jackson Dart will have some playing time some point at this season. I believe it'll probably be toward the back end of the season, however. I believe the Giants' front seven, or the front D line at least, will go over at least 15 sacks together as a whole overall. And if head coach Brian Daboll and general manager haven't left the team yet already, the Giants have serious considerations if they want to continue moving forward with these two going on to the 2026 season.